Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today I am reviewing Medieval for the PS4. It's a remake of an older game. I never did play the older game, but I'm playing it via the PS5 and backwards compatibility. This was a game chosen by the Games of the Month club I'm in. This was the under 20 hour, under $20 game chosen this month. I got a physical copy. It was a really cheap game. I think it came out in like 2018, 2019, and I think this is a remake of this game. Um, Anyway, I'm going to go over the same 5 categories I always do: graphics, performance, gameplay/story, replayability, fun factor. Give each category a score 1 to 10, average them up, and then talk about the game a little bit. So we'll start with graphics. Graphics are decent, although I think they could have been a little better considering it's a remake. But, there's only so much the PS4 can do. But, I thought they could have been better, so I gave it a 6.5. Nothing terrible, but definitely nothing spectacular. Performance, I gave it a 7, although I could have gone even lower. There was no game-breaking bugs, although there were a good number of bugs I found, whether it be getting stuck, the camera not working correctly sometimes. There was a few spots where I had to jump, and it either we get caught on a ledge. I mean, there's just a few annoying little quirks with this game. Like I said, it's an older game, and you can definitely tell that it's an older game. I think the controls could have been just improved, and I'm going to, include that in the performance. The frame rate's fine, all that, resolutions, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, just hiccups with just the bugs in the game, so I gave it a 7. Next category, gameplay/story. This is gonna be it's decent. The story's really corny, really old. I didn't love it, didn't really like it that much. Gameplay was okay too. I'm not a huge fan of puzzle games or puzzles within games. If there's too many of them, it kind of turns me off a little bit. And this one had a few too many for my liking. And some of them were tough, man, and just kind of annoying. Uh, I hate to look things up in games. I almost refuse to. But I had to with this game. There's a few things I just was getting frustrated with. And I got to a point where it was so difficult for me that I was trying to get right through the game, because I don't think I've ever actually beat a game of the month, like within the month that it was chosen. So I was trying to this time, and I was trying to go through, and I got really far in the game, um, with minimal weapons or capabilities unlocked, and I had to go back and do that based on what I saw other people do. Because if you try to do this with base weapons and stuff, this game is just frustrating. And it's frustrating me sometimes, even when you do have the good weapons. So yeah, it can be frustrating. But certain aspects of, I don't want to dog it completely, because it is, the combat's kind of fun. Once you do unlock some of the more advanced weapons, it can be pretty fun. It's not awful, so I gave it a 7. It's just okay. There's nothing spectacular about it. The story's really corny, but it's not supposed to be a serious game or anything like that. Just maybe not so much for me. Next category is replayability, which I am always tough on. This game, once you beat it, I will never play this game again. I wrote 2 at first, and then I crossed out and put 1, because I wanted to get the platinum. Although I got a lot of trophies when I was going through this. I wanted to get the platinum because you get extra votes next month, but I just couldn't do it. This game just... I came close to quitting multiple times. I'm glad I did complete it. I'm glad I beat the game, but I will never go back and play this game again, ever. I won't even get the platinum. It's just too frustrating to me. Anyway, so replayability 1. Definitely am done with it. And then my last category is going to be fun factor. You can probably tell I didn't hate the game, but I definitely didn't like the game. It's just a game that I'm glad. I guess I'm glad they remade it. It's, for the people that played this the first go around, I bet you they're going to really enjoy this because of the nostalgia factor. Some of the levels were creative, you know, like I said, some of the gameplay wasn't terrible. But man, overall, it's just I didn't have a ton of fun with the game. I I gave it a 3, so I didn't dog it completely. You know, although I'll never replay the game, I will always probably remember this game because you know there's I don't know if this was a PS1 or a PS2. Maybe I think it was PS1, but you know it's cool that they're even remaking stuff like this. So I'd like to support the developers. Uh, but anyway, fun factor 3. And then just to review, graphics 6.5, performance 7, gameplay slash story 7, replayability 1, fun factor 3. That averages to a 4.9 out of 10. So that is super mediocre. Um, I wouldn't recommend this game unless you had played it originally or you like old school games like this. And let me go over just some notes about the game I wrote. I wrote terrible camera and controls. I do not like how I don't want to say it's not floaty. I just it's not very precise, and sometimes you have to jump on like certain ledges and you fall off, or you're not sure if you can jump over here. It's super frustrating. So I just it's old. You know, you just gotta remember, keep that in mind. It's an older game. So that is super annoying. I wrote frustrating. There's so many times in this game you're just like, oh my gosh, it's a controller thrower sometimes. And when I was playing it, trying to go right through the game, it is impossible. I was like, this is like a Souls-like game, just impossible. Uh, but I did write some levels were fun. You know, there were a few levels that I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. You know, I'm glad I picked this up. And then the next level, it would totally turn me off. I'd be like, oh man, this game, ugh. And one thing, like I said earlier, I hate having to look stuff up. If it requires me to look stuff up to complete, that is just not my game. I'm just not into that. Either the puzzle, it should be a puzzle game where, to me, where you're playing all puzzles or just a handful of puzzles. This had a ton of puzzles. Um, and I wrote annoying puzzles. Not only were there a lot of them, some of them were really annoying and just kind of difficult to figure out. Um, it tested my patience, but I'm glad I went through and beat it. Uh, so you're about to see just some screenshots, but I'm going to end the review here. So like I said, it got a 4.9 out of 10. SirVern out.